Hey everyone, this is Rowdy's blog, and welcome to my general discussion series. Today's general discussion is going to be on my top 13 favorite Christmas TV specials. Why 13? Because I felt like 10 wasn't enough, and I have a lot of favorite Christmas specials, so here are my top 13 favorite Christmas TV specials. Number 13 is Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. Now, this was a special that I think came out in the 1970s, I believe. And this special was basically about Big Bird trying to figure out how Santa Claus would be able to get through all those chimneys in Sesame Street. And he goes out into the city and tries to like he spends the night on the roof to see if Santa Claus will ever get through those chimneys or not. I really love this special because it's not discussing about whether or not Santa Claus exists or not, but more like how does Santa Claus get through the chimneys. So I liked how this special never really questioned whether or not Santa Claus exists or not. And I think it was a different take on that subject alone. Like instead of having the kids question about whether or not Santa Claus exists or not, it's more like can Santa Claus fit through those chimneys or not, and still treat it like a real dilemma, like how kids would feel if they're trying to question whether or not Santa Claus exists or not. Um, I also love all the songs in this special, especially like "Keep Christmas with You" and "All Through the Year." That's one of my favorite songs in the special, and I keep singing it every year. And again, this is like probably one of my most favorite specials or favorite episodes from Sesame Street ever. And I wish they showed it back on PBS sometime because I think it's a great episode. I think they did the characters justice in this one, and I like how they tackled the issue about Santa Claus without resorting to whether or not Santa Claus exists or not. Um, number 12 is Frosty's Winter Wonderland. This special is about Frosty meeting up with Crystal, or Frosty getting married to Crystal. And in this special, Frosty and Crystal try to get married to each other, but then they have to like avoid Jack Frost, who wants to ruin Frosty's chances of getting married because he's jealous of Frosty's attention with the children. And so he tries to go and like take Frosty's hat for him that would make him lifeless again, since the hat is what brought Frosty to life in the first place. I really love this special because it's like a great character development for Frosty himself. Like I like the fact that Frosty is getting married to Crystal, and I love all the songs in it, and I think Andy Griffith was a great host to it. It was also the first time I saw Jack Frost into this. Now, it was interesting to see Jack Frost as the antagonist in this movie, instead of the protagonist he later on becomes. But I really like Jack Frost in this movie. He like brings so much tension to this movie, especially when he tries to take the hat away from Frosty and make him lifeless again and ruining his chances of getting married. So this special was really good for bringing in so much tension for Frosty, and also developing Frosty's characters. He's getting married in this special. Number 11 is a claymation Christmas celebration. This special basically has two hosts, a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Triceratops, and they try to tell the viewers about how Christmas got started and what each song that's represented in this special means, like joy to the world and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and what they each represent. And probably my favorite song segments in this special was the one with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where the California Raisins are singing like the Temptations version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Joy to the World when they're using all these colorful artwork to represent the song itself. I do think this is a special that should have been shown on TV a lot more. I think it's one of the most creative specials I ever saw, and I wish they showed it back on TV again, because again, I think this is something the new generation should check out. And the animation was very well done. There was lots of humor in it, and lots of good information about Christmas as a whole. And I think this is something that I think new generations would definitely enjoy. Especially if you enjoy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, this is a good special to watch over again. And if you love Christmas music as a whole, I think this is a great special to do just that. Number 10 is Santabear's High Flying Adventure. In this special, Santabear, who's voiced by Bobby McFerrin, tries to save Christmas from Bully Bear, who was kicked out of Santa's workshop years ago, and plots revenge against Santa Claus by trying to steal all the toys that Santabear is trying to bring to the South Pole, and also making sure that the people at the South Pole don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. um, this is another one of those specials that don't show up on TV anymore, which is upsetting because I think this is one of the best Christmas specials I ever seen. I think all the voice actors did a great job with the characters. I thought the story was cute, like Santa Bear trying to save the day by trying to deliver presents to the South Pole and trying to reassure the people of the South Pole that Santa Claus still exists. And I think Bully Bear is a great villain. Um, and this was also done by Rabbit Ears Productions, who did various stories back in the 80s, such as How the Camel Got His Hump and How the Rhinoceros Got His Skin. And probably a lot of people will remember that because Bobby McFerrin did the music for those productions, and he also did the voices for Santa Bear and Bully Bear in this special. And again, I think this is a special that should be shown on TV a lot more. The story is great, the characters are great, the animation is great, and it's one of those Christmas specials I love to watch every year whenever I get my chance to. Number 9 is Jack Frost. And in this one, it pretty much relates the story about how Jack Frost came to be, or at least how he tries to get a at least try to marry a girl he has a crush on January Junction, which is a small town on Earth. And despite loving the girl, he has to deal with Kubla Kraus, who's the main villain of the special, as Kubla Kraus rules January Junction, and he also wants to marry the girl of his dreams. So I like the fact that Jack Frost tries to save the day in this one, and how he tries to defeat Kubla Kraus from the like making people's lives in January Junction miserable. I think this is another special that should be shown a lot on TV. I like the way that they explored Jack Frost's backstory and the fact that they made Jack Frost the protagonist in this story instead of the antagonist that he was in Frosty's Winter Wonderland. And I really love the villain Kubla Kraus. Like, he's a very interesting type of villain. Um it was pretty intense when he started torturing the people of January Junction, and I love his little I think his little steel dummy that it looks like a robot puppet or something like that. Like, everything in his palace is made out of steel, I believe, and it was pretty interesting for Kubla Kraus to have a steel puppet by his hand. So that was something I always found so interesting about Jack Frost as a whole. His The villain was really interesting. I love the fact that they explored the backstory about Jack Frost, and it's just one of my most favorite Christmas specials of all time. Number 8 is The Year Without a Santa Claus. And in this special, Santa Claus ends up getting a cold during Christmas, and Mrs. Claus sends her two best elves to go out and talk to the Heatmeister and the Frostmeister about like delaying the weather a bit, so that way Santa Claus can recover in time to deliver the presents on Christmas. Um I really love this special because it raises the question about what would happen if Santa Claus gets sick on around Christmas time, and whether or not he would deliver the toys on time. That was a question that they tackle so well in the special, and I also love all the songs in it. My favorite songs was like the songs sang by the Frostmeister and the Heatmeister, like such as "I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow." Like, I love to sing that song every time that song pops up because it's like it's so catchy. It really says a lot about both the Heatmeister and the Frostmeister, and they're both singing the same song, but the words are like the lyrics are way different because these are different characters and they're just describing themselves a little differently. So I really love that song and how they describe both the Heatmeister and the Frostmeister in the same time. Um Number 7 is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. In this special, we're pretty much introduced to the origin story of Santa Claus, how he started off as Kris Kringle, and how he starts trying to deliver toys to this town that's ruled by the Burgermeister, I believe. Um, and in this special, the Burgermeister um like tries to tell the kids that you can't have toys and this and that because he got injured by one of the toys, and so he assumes that all toys are dangerous, nobody should have them. And Kris Kringle comes to the town and he tries to deliver all the toys to the kids despite the Burgermeister getting on its case about the toys. I love this special because it introduces the origin story of Santa Claus, and I also love all the songs and the characters. Like my favorite song is like "Put One Foot in Front of the Other." Yeah, I love singing that every year. Also, I mean a lot of these Rankin Bass productions are like have really great catchy songs for the Christmas time, and that was just one of my favorite songs from that special. And I liked the fact that we get to see how Santa Claus came to be and how he meets Mrs. Claus and all that stuff, how he's able to deliver toys to all the little girls and boys. It's just a great special all around. Number 6 is The Snowman. Um, Not Frosty the Snowman, but The Snowman. This is a British animated film that was made by Raymond Briggs. If you read his book The Snowman, that's pretty much what this special was based off of. And it's basically about a boy who builds a snowman on Christmas and how the snowman eventually comes to life, and he and the snowman and the boy end up going on a lot of adventures together, and they end up going to the North Pole together too. This is also one of my all-time favorite Christmas specials. I love to watch every year because I love the fact that this movie doesn't really use any dialogue to explain what the characters are doing. Like the animation pretty much itself explains what the characters are doing, and I think the animation was just beautifully done. And I loved the adventures that the boy and the snowman go on to. I love the relationship between them, and I also love the scene when they go to the North Pole and meet all these other snowmen who are like different dancers from all over the world. And even though the ending was really sad, I mean, if you saw the ending, it was really really sad. The, the special itself is really memorable for me, and I continue to watch it every year when I can. Number 5 is a Garfield Christmas special, and in this one, John Arbuckle ends up going to the back to the farm to visit his family for Christmas, and he starts spending lots of time with his family. And also in this special, Garfield starts learning what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. Like it's not all about getting the toys and the presents. It's like all about trying to spend time with your family and stuff like that. I love the special because I'm a huge fan of Garfield, and I think the special was so hilarious and heartwarming at the same time. I love Garfield's relationship with John's grandmother, and I think John's grandmother was like the most hippest character in the entire show, and she practically steals all the scenes she in. So I really love John Arbuckle's grandmother in this special, and I love her relationship with Garfield. And I think this is just a great special if you're a huge fan of Garfield. Number 4 is Frosty the Snowman. Now, this is the Frosty the Snowman. And in this special, Frosty the Snowman comes to life when the evil magician loses his hat, and the hat ends up bringing Frosty back to life. And Frosty decides he wants to go to the North Pole because that's the only place where he'll be able to survive, since any other place um he'll just melt. And he's accompanied by a young girl named Karen who decides to take him to the North Pole herself. But then they have to evade the evil magician who wants the hat back after he discovers that the hat can bring Frosty back to life. Um, this is another one of my most favorite Christmas specials. I think Frosty is a great character. He's so kind-hearted and friendly, and I love his relationship with Karen and how he tries to protect her throughout the way. I think that was the most heartwarming moment of the special of the whole special. And it was also interesting seeing the evil magician trying to get to them so he could get the hat back. And I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat seeing if the magician would get to Frosty and Karen. And so I definitely think this is a special that everybody should be watching. Number 3 is a Charlie Brown Christmas. And in this one, Charlie Brown tries to tell all the other Peanuts gang, that Christmas is not all about commercialism, it's not all about just getting presents and all that stuff. He's trying to show the kids the true meaning of Christmas. And I think one of my most favorite scenes in it is when he brings in this scraggly Christmas tree, and everybody mocks him about it because they think the tree's not that special at all. But at the end, it was pretty heartwarming what they done at the end. They decorated the tree and everything. And so I love this special because I love Charlie Brown as a whole. I think this special really shows that what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. How Charlie Brown tries so hard to convince the other kids, Christmas is not about the presents or trying to be outbeat each other and who has the best Christmas lights and all that stuff. It's about, the thought that counts. And especially when he brings that scraggly looking Christmas tree and tries to show the kids, you can still make you can still make this scraggly looking tree look so beautiful despite how it looks. Number two is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm a huge fan of Dr. Seuss's works, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas is honestly one of my most favorite stories told by Dr. Seuss. And it's basically about the Grinch trying to ruin Christmas for the Who's of Whoville by stealing all their presents and all their Christmas decorations and stuff like that. And at the end, he learns what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. Um, I love this special because it shows the Grinch progressing as a character and him trying to figure out what the true meaning of Christmas is all about while stealing all the Who's decorations and stuff. And the animation was so well done. I love the way that Chuck Jones animated the special. I always love seeing the Grinch's scary face he makes when he has a really bad plan or something like that, and his he face just breaks into this evil looking grin. So I definitely love How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's definitely one of my most favorite Christmas specials of all time. And my number one favorite Christmas special of all time is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I love this special. This is basically a full of story about how Rudolph became famous as he is, like how he was teased by the other reindeer because of his red nose, and how he meets up with Herb the elf who wants to be a dentist, and Yukon who's trying to find gold, and then they meet up with this big snow monster at the towards the end of the film. I love this special because it expands more Rudolph's backstory about being ridiculed by the other reindeer, or how his gift or how his red nose eventually makes him accepted into society when he finds a good use for it. And I love the animation for it. I love the stop motion animation. Yeah, it's old school, but I think it's so well done. It really makes the characters stand out. And I love Herb the elf. Less he's like one of the few elves who wants to be a dentist, and I love his relationship with Rudolph as they share the whole idea that they're being teased because they want to do something different or because of their differences basically. And it was just enjoyable seeing them journey together to the land of mystic toys, I believe, misfit toys, so they can find a place to be accepted in. Well, that's my top 13 favorite Christmas TV specials. Tell me in the comments below what are your top 10 favorite Christmas specials or your top 13 favorite Christmas TV specials. And if there's any kind of discussion that you want me to any kind of discussion topic you want me to discuss, please feel free to comment below and I'll see what I can do about it. And also feel free to follow me on Twitter so I can keep you updated on any new videos I post up. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabbia's blog and I'll see you later.